For the first time in 46 years, the best of the best in the Sports Car Club of America return to the West Coast for the club's annual one-race battle for the title of champion in 27 classes. This year's three-day duel for the medals brings over 400 racers to California's Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca on the stunning Monterey Peninsula. It's time to seriously step up at the 2014 and 51st SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Welcome everybody to the final afternoon of competition at the 51st running of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs for the first time in 46 years on the West Coast at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. The 2014 Sports Car Club of America Run for the Medals here at this absolutely storied venue. Spec Racer Ford is the class that is coming up. I am Greg Creamer, alongside will be Jeff Leppert, and down in pit lane to tell us a little bit about this class, a very busy guy this week. His name's Hayward Wagner. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks, Greg. The Spec Racer Fords gridding out at turn 5, rolling onto the track there, making their way around to the front straightaway. These are identical race cars, sealed parts, identical tires, same body. This is a true driver's class. We're going to see one of two things here in this field, either a great battle or a historic performance of someone able to make a gap and drive away. My bet, the battle. We have 9 drivers qualified in the same second and over 20 rookies in this field. These guys don't know when the runoffs will come back to California. Today's their chance to make their mark in the SCCA record books.
Boy, isn't that the truth. And Jeff, home track knowledge here. We've got some guys that are going to seriously be players because they've got that little understanding of the nuance of this very challenging track.
We got guys with home track advantage, but you got guys that maybe have a lot of runoff starts under there. John Black, he has both of those, starting 7th in the Spec Racer Ford. He makes his 28th runoff start in Spec Racer Ford. He was running yesterday in the GT3 category, making his 27th start, and he's from nearby Olympic Valley, California. A lot of laps here. He's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And you think about it here, the guy that they've picked to win qualified 4th, Todd Harris out of Portland, Oregon, certainly knows this track. Hasn't got the gold at the runoffs yet, but has runoffs medals. Now he gets an opportunity here. And the interesting thing is that they picked Todd over the guy who sits on pole, the 4-time straight national champion that we just heard from, Mike Miserandino, in a package that we had just a couple of minutes before we came on air. They must be thinking that Todd's got some pretty serious chops here. Yeah,
you know, he kind of won everything that he could here this last year, so when you're writing those articles for Sports Car Magazine, of course, the official publication of the Sports Car Club of America, you got to go with the safe bet, and that is Todd Harris. But watch out for Scott Redditch. I think starting in the 6th place there, he just won yesterday that Formula Enterprise race. He's looking to try to make it 2 in a row here at the runoffs, like some other guys have done.
Yeah, absolutely. That was his 4th national championship. We've got national champions back. John Black will start 7th in the 07. Back into the 14th spot, Darrell Wills, a 3-time national champion. But here's a fun story for you. Even though he didn't get the qualifying he wanted, starting way back in the 40th spot, the number 50, Phil Fogg Sr. out of Tualatin, Oregon. He is a national champion. He won it a month ago at the Reno Air Races in the jet class. He claimed the gold medal in his L39 Albatross, lapping that track at over 500 miles an hour. So, you know, there's all kinds of folks that show up here and go for a national championship on 4 wheels.
Well, doing that 500 miles an hour, this is like a Sunday drive to church in a Spec Racer Ford. Wow, way to go there.
Yeah, that's a pretty remarkable story. So, some great stories for sure. So, looking forward to how that's going to unfold here. But again, up front it is Mike Miserandino, Cliff White alongside the 2012 national champ, TJ Acker, Todd Harris in the 2nd row, Steve Fogg and Scott Reddick in that 3rd row, John Black, John Tipton in row 4, row 5, Jonathan Allen and Scott Monroe. In the next row, Robert Breton and Lee Fleming, and Mark Bellingy, Darrell Wills, the 3-time national champion, back in the 14th spot. I've been waiting to say this one all week, again? Starting in 15th. The number 34, Umberto Meletti, out of Hillsborough, California. It kind of fades after the name.
I was going to say, yeah, the town doesn't mean Milan, Italy.
Yeah.
Sounds better.
Still, though, love the name. 13th, Michael Keller. So, you know, we're taking a look here back into the 9th row. Perry Richardson, Paul Marino, Bill Booth, Jonah Rodamel competes that next row. Back into the 11th row, Lee Douglas, Mike Boyle. I mean, it, you know, goes on and on and on. Just an amazing field of competitors. 44 cars taking times in qualifying. And when they come around to unleash this field for its 20-lap or 40-minute National Championship blast out of San Francisco region will be Bruce Brunner with the green flag to let this one fly. So I think we're in for a spectacular race. Been waiting for this one all week.
Oh yeah, this is going to be exciting stuff. Watch these cars. These are built pretty thick too. You can bounce off one another, no problem at all. Really no harm, no foul going side by side. You'll see these guys do that a lot here in this race.
Yeah, Spec Racer Ford is the, yes, it's a contact sport class for racing sometimes, and it sure makes it exciting. And there is that white with the number 11 on the nose, Mike Miserandino, bringing the field around, that purple number 58 at Cliff White alongside, and the rest of the field, there's that 24, the red, white, and blue machine of Todd Harris. Pace car is in. We are ready to go racing here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Spec Racer Ford, an immense field still filing out of turn number 11. Wait for it. There it is, green flag flies. We are underway in a huge move. Back in the order just a little bit. That's the 0-2 of Darrell Wills. He was back at 14th. He wants to make up some ground and get to the front and be a player for another national championship.
4 wide down into turn number 2, the Andretti hairpin. You see those red lights, everybody all over the brakes. Nice and clean so far as they exit turn number 2.
And it's Miserandino. Look at Todd Harris trying to get up and around the outside of Cliff White.
Oh.
And Cliff White, oh, and we've got some cars spearing across the track. Bodywork flying, the rear decks coming off. Few more cars taking evasive. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. Right as we thought we were going to get through the Andretti hairpin clean right at the back, we had some issues, but it also looked to me as though it looked like Todd Harris might be making a feint to the lead. Couldn't quite get it done. Actually slips back now into that 4th spot. So after all that activity, the top 4 run just as they qualified, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly where they were, but I think I spoke a little too soon on the exit of turn number 2 there with damage back to the back, and we are yellow. I see a lot of hands going up over there. You see the leader there, so full course yellow in our Spec Racer Ford class.
Yeah, there was cars everywhere, but also there was debris, bodywork from these cars. The back decks, sometimes they just will pop off like that, and obviously you can't be running through that. So full course caution here in the early going. There's one of the cars involved, the number 77, struggling just a little bit. Looking for Gary Manchester. He's out of Portland, Oregon, the Nancy Zieg interior design machine. It looks like he might be the one keeper, but not in a good spot.
Yeah, you got to get stuck in the sand and get back on there, and that's a beautiful chrome paint job there on Steve Falk. Pretty sure that's a wrap, but great reflective there off that Spec Racer Ford.
Yeah, these guys take it seriously. They love their SRFs, as they call it here in SCCA club competition. All part of the Safe Racer National or SCCA club racing program with great support from Safe Racer. We've got great partners that are going all the way down through the order, including a few here we've already talked about a little bit. Mike Miserandino, his 3rd straight tire rack pole. We also have the Sunoco Hard Charger Award that will be awarded once the results become official and obviously timing and scoring get tabulated. But before we go off the air for this race, we're going to have the GoPro Hero Move of the Race Award to be talking about as well. And I have a feeling by the time this one's done, there's going to be a lot of candidates.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to draw pills for that one and pick a number, I think, is who's going to win that.
So under the caution early here, as we said, it's not quite getting all the way around on that first lap, but just a massive field. And I'll tell you, that front group, we saw them 3, 4, 5 abreast down through, and they all were able to make it through. Just, I think one guy just dropped that right rear coming out of the exit at 2, and it speared him across and gathered up a couple of other cars. And again, we had the number 77 stuck over there of Manchester, a couple other cars. Here's the number 44 trundling down pit lane and not looking like that car is particularly healthy either. That's Bob Gardner from Sunnyvale, California.
Yeah, a little damage there to the right front and the right side of that car, and not sure if he's going to pull it in and call it a day or go back there and try to make some repairs and make it back out here.
So as we're under caution, let's check into the pits once again with Hayward Wagner.
Guys, here on pit lane, we got a really good view of the start. It was a very slow roll to the flag that created a compression in the middle of the field. 2 or 3 cars got together nose to tail on the inside line. As they came out of 2 from where we were standing, it looked like the rear end blew off of one of the cars, and that's what caused the initial invasive action that got people together there in 2.
Well, that could happen. That little, little touch loosens up those clips. That bodywork flies off. The 88 there, Court Cardinal, out of Carson City, Nevada, and the Casino Fandango and Sausage Factory machine sitting in pit lane, sans deck. So you'd think that would be the one that had that going. We're getting now word from the SCCA officials, green, when we come by start this time.
Oh, the right side of that number 77 of Gary Manchester looks a little worse for wear. We saw the left side and thought he might have just been stuck in the sand, but missing a right front tire. Sands the right front, I guess.
Yeah, it broke. So looking forward to a green. We'll be completing lap number 2 when we go back to green. So still 18 laps of racing, plenty of time for some of the fireworks that Spec Racer Ford is known for. The one thing I think everybody's looking at, yeah, you know, the times were remarkably close, as both you and Hayward alluded to. The top 9, was it, underneath a second, so very close. But Mike Miserandino has a way when he's at the front of just being able to run those laps like clockwork and get out front. So I think, you know, Cliff White, TJ Acker, Todd Harris, we saw how hard they were trying. I think they realized it's important for somebody to get in front of Mike in the early going here.
Yeah, you really want to try to get in front, and if you can stay in front of him, make those Spec Racer Fords a little wider than they are right now, I think you might be able to battle him. That's the last thing you want to have happen, is him to pull away and start walking away from this field, because once that's happened, you cannot catch him.
Absolutely correct. Cliff White right there out of Huntsville, Alabama. Talk about going fast in the air. Of course, that's one of the major homes of NASA, where actually a lot of the manned space flight programs were created. So that's a pretty special place, and I'm sure he's looking to carry the colors. As we're going to go back to green flag racing right now. Miserandino leading him around early green this time. They were just, the front group of 5 had cleared 11, and we go back to green, and Miserandino timed it to perfection. Already got that jump, and then behind him you got Cliff White, TJ Acker going absolutely side by side, and it looks like Todd Harris for a minute there was looking at a late move. Is he going to do it? Showed the nose, tucks right back in again. Bit of lock up there. Everybody, I think that's one of the braking markers maybe has come loose. But Miserandino at this stage, Jeff, leads out of 2.
Yeah, and Cliff White got hung up there on the outside, and they got freight trained all the way back to 5th or 6th place, I believe. Not the start he was looking for.
No, and Scott Reddick, the guy that's moved up smartly now on that restart, right there in 4th, the number 17. And as you said, he's fresh off of a win in Formula E, so he's already got gold around his neck. And once you win gold, the only thing that makes you feel better is another one.
Yeah, good shot of the number 23 there, John Tipton, in your shot a little bit earlier. And there is number 58, Cliff White from Huntsville, Alabama, back to 5th place after starting 2nd. Just didn't quite get that jump. And then once again, you pull out a line in the Spec Racer Ford. Yeah. You saw the result there, drop back 4 positions.
Yeah, the announcer's curse. He's building him up and everything, and he ends up dropping back. I apologize. Make me look bad, Cliff. Go and do this right now. Get after him, and you know he will. Behind him is that number 21 that you're talking about, Steve Fogg, in the mix. The 07 of John Black. You know that John's not going to be content to sit back there too long.
No, he wants to battle back, and he had a good run in the GT3 category, looking to cap that off here with a run in Spec Racer Ford.
Love that look of these cars just funneling down through the legendary corkscrew here. And you're absolutely right on that 21 of Fogg, that chrome paint job on the side, that wrap essentially, is absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, it just makes that car look really good. A good shot there. Number 51, Robert Breton from San Francisco, California, CSR Performance Machine, doing a good job keeping with this lead pack.
Oh, and Cliff White tucked right up behind Scott Redditch. So they head down into the turn just in front of these guys. There's John Tipton in that black machine. But Redditch under absolute attack. Well, there you go.
Looks like that was a 3 marker.
A little bit of debris, and now it's a 4, 5, 6 marker. Splattered around just a little bit, and he got through. Nice job for the 58. And Cliff White got the move down into turn number 2 underneath and made the pass on Redditch. So that puts him now up into that 4th spot. Now he's got to work his way back and see if he can get around Todd Harris.
Scott Reddick has been known to save his car till the end. Don't think you're going to have a chance to do that here today at Spec Racer Ford. It's coming over here into Monster Race for Laguna Seca. It's a track that will reward you if you do really good, and you can really pull away if you get into the groove. And it looks like Mike Miserandino is starting to do that right now.
Well, that's the gift that Mike Miserandino has. He gets immense speed out of these cars, and he does it by doing exactly what you have to do in these cars. Superbly smooth. I mean, he just doesn't take anything out of the tires and is able to keep them alive. So he just has that consistent pace, and he really needs somebody to be right there with him to pressure him a little bit to have a shot at this.
And Reddick under pressure now from that number 21, Steve Fogg. He's going to lose 4th if he's not too careful.
There's TJ Acker. This is your battle for 2nd. There's Acker. There's the 24 of Harris. And then right behind him, your 2nd place qualifier, that lavender machine of Cliff White. Then a little bit of a gap now back to Reddick, who's got the pressure from Fogg and the 23 of Tipton, I believe. Whoa, Cliff White way out wide. Didn't lose much, though, just kept his foot planted. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, you can't lift when you go out into the outside there. There's a little bit of pavement now on the runoff on the outside. You still have the AstroTurf in front of that, so not a lot of grip there. So make sure you leave that right foot planted as hard as you can.
Yeah, the 07 of John Black has now moved up and into that 7th spot. Ooh, close quarter stuff. Miserandino just uncorked a 1:43.8, so a very good lap in the early going.
And damage to the front of Todd Harris is now when he got in the back of TJ Acker.
Boy, when it pinches down that opening, that's where all of the inlets are for the radiators to cool these cars off. And yeah, he got in there good enough. That's pretty well scrunched shut. That could become a real issue for him.
Yeah, one little opening there just on the right side, and him being tucked in behind TJ Acker. We'll have to maintain that and make sure there's no overheating issues going to happen on that number 24 machine.
Yeah, true. And it's not just the radiators, it's also the ducts into those front brakes. So it can really complicate things. Right there, you saw Cliff White just taking a little bit of a look on Harris. He got a better run out of 5. But, boy, you have to get that pass made very cleanly through 6 because if you end up losing speed through 6, you're just absolutely parked relative to everybody else up here. Now White getting that run, decided to take advantage of it. Can Harris stay on the outside? He cannot. White is through, has picked up another spot.
Yeah, up to 3rd, that final podium spot. Don't think I'm going to pick him to win that, stay that position, because it could. A lot of racing still to go. It could change minute by minute. 16 laps to go. They'll be completing 1/4 of the race distance this next time by.
Yeah, this is just watching what we're seeing here from Miserandino. He's almost a second faster than anybody else right now, but Cliff White might have an answer here. What a pass. He just laid down the inside on TJ Acker. He's now second. Acker now going to come right back after him.
Yeah, right back to the inside. Side by side coming on the line. Give credit to Acker for second place that lap, but it's not over yet.
Nope. Cliff White is going to stay on the outside and see if he can't get a little bit better run out of 2. He got in a lot deeper, and he almost had a nose ahead. He's got to be careful, though, because if Todd Harris can take advantage, he will and come through. And again, Cliff White dropped the wheel, but he got a nice run. He's in the inside of Acker as they head down into turn 3. Boy, that was a pass and repass that took, 4 corners to complete. That's Spec Racer Ford.
Okay, we can't even say it fast enough with the action that's happening here as quick as it changes with Cliff White, TJ Acker, going back to Todd Harris running in that number 24. Still waiting to see if he's going to have any overheating problems or braking issues. Now under attack from Scott Reddick. And then watch out for that 21, Steve Fogg, and that beautiful chrome-wrapped SRF.
The only problem is all of that pass and repass, it gets you off of the absolute fast line. And Miserandino, looking in his mirror, seeing those cars behind him just looking a little smaller virtually every corner right now. Look at that margin he's built up.
Yeah, absolutely. A little smaller margin in your rearview mirror, but a bigger smile every time you see that.
Oh, without a doubt. And that's Mike Miserandino's MO. That's how he does this. He is just something else. And, you know, these guys now, you got to get at this stage with Cliff White back up front. Clearly, he's pretty quick. Smart move now is for TJ Acker and Harris and Reddick and those guys to run line astern and try and just run this guy down. You know, the old saying, 2 cars go quicker than 1, 3 can go quicker than 2 when they're cooperating. That's what they have to try and do right now. Problem is that Miserandino is amazing at just finding just remarkable speed and consistent speed by himself.
Yeah, right there, Scott Reddick to the inside of the number 24 of Todd Harris, trying to make that move. Scott Reddick looking to get a pass. This is the battle for 4th, and tucked in right behind him, down to the inside, 3 wide as they come down to turn number 2.
Oh, look at this move here. Is it going to work? The 21 deep on the brakes for Steve Fogg, knifes through. Reddick realizes he's there, opens that wheel up, lets him slide through. Reddick tucks right back in again, and just that quick, Todd Harris loses 2 spots and ends up now back behind Reddick in what should be about the 6th spot. It can change that fast.
Yeah, just like that. Looking to the inside, there is John Black trying to make a move now. Under attack is Todd Harris.
Well, I wonder if Harris maybe isn't already starting to see some temperature issues in that car.
Yeah, he's really looks like he has fallen off the pace. And you know, you talked about the brake ducts, the cooling to the radiators, watching that temp gauge. Maybe that's also too. You start looking at that, you lose focus, and you lose 2 positions.
Absolutely, you're paying attention. You've got to, obviously. It's important. You don't want to just run the thing until it blows, so you want to finish. So you start paying attention to that. But look at this. Once he got around, didn't he? Cliff White starting to draw away just a little bit. He's showing some good speed. The question is it enough to run down Miserandino?
Yeah, he's about 4/10 quicker than 3rd place TJ Acker. Unfortunately, he's 4/10 slower than Miserandino.
And that's going to be the story of Miserandino's margin now. Last time by was up to an even 3 seconds. So we'll see where it sits right now. Yeah, but Cliff White's doing what he wants to do. He's cleared those guys behind him, so now he doesn't have to worry too much about them attacking. He can just, you know, sometimes the best defense, good offense. just pin your ears back and drive, and he's been able to open that margin up. But we got a great scrap for that final medal position right now, currently led by the 62 of Acker over Reddick. And I think there was that change we're going to see as they come through here back to 5th. Yeah, Fogg, Reddick, and Black now up into 6th.
Yeah, again, great battles all throughout the Spec Racer Forge. Looking at the number 34. Some damage there to the front of the number 97 machine there with Mark Bellingy from Schaefer, California, down in the Central Valley of California.
Probably caught up in that big get-together down in turn 2. We did see at least 4 cars involved in that, and he may well have been one of them able to drive off, though. It's too bad. He had a good run. 13th was where he qualified. Was certainly going to be somebody perhaps to keep an eye on here, and he's still right there, so he must have just kissed somebody in that incident. And there's the number 57 coming by. Again, no body work on the back of that car. What is that going to do to that car's handling? I mean, there's not a lot of aero on these cars, but there is that little lip on the back of the car.
Well, it's going to be great for Arrow coming down that straightaway. A little less drag as he goes down there, maybe some higher top speed. Good look at the number 2, Lee Douglas, and the number 53, big battle for 18th here, Michael Boyle, side by side as they're coming up through turn number 6.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about this class, because there's so many, and the cars by design are absolutely spec, same category. Whoa, just heard something going awry here, a lot of smoke. See if we can figure out who it might have been. Maybe just, nope, he went off. There's a yellow flying down there, but the question is, who we looking at there is it's the number 40, I think, of Jonathan Allen.
Running in the 8th position and damage to that front end, and looks like he's still unable to get up to speed.
Yeah, I mean, that whole front end is folded down and under right now, so he's got some serious concerns facing him as well. There we go. Now let's take a look. The margin has been trimmed. Cliff White took almost 7/10 of a second off of Miserandino. The margin's down to 2.3. He just ran a 143.8 to Miserandino's 44.3. The TJ Acker went a 44.2, so that margin between White and Acker for third up to almost 2 seconds. So Cliff White is booking.
Yeah, fastest car on the track right now for Cliff White as he tries to run down Mike Miserandino. And I know, way sideways off of turn number 3 for TJ Acker.
Well, you're pushing hard, and there's there's the laws of physics and grip, and you carried just enough speed. And remember, these are not racing slicks on these cars either. It's a DOT-approved tire, so you got to be a little careful with how hard you push. You can run these tires off quickly. Yeah, it's a Goodyear tire on all the cars, and it's sort of a kind of a spec tire they're all using, and it's a pretty close to a slick, but you're right, it is that DOT compound radial tire, and it makes it equal for everybody. So truly, when you go all the way down to all the spec parts, spec chassis, spec body, spec tire, it really is a driver's car. And they're sealed too. That's, I mean, they are very, very careful about that to make sure these cars are identical. Not a whole lot even you can do in terms of setup, just the basic stuff. Sway bar a little stiff, a little soft if you like the car with a little push or a little loose, that sort of thing. But otherwise, it is down to you to get the job done. And this battle continues to be strong. Acker, he's working hard when he's dropping tires like that. Fogg right behind him, that 21 Reddick, still right there. But here's the man, Cliff White. Be interesting to see now. He's definitely looks like he's made up a little bit more ground on Miserandino, but let's see what the clock says. It was 2.3 the last time, and as they come cycling through, we'll get the margin, and it is 1.9 seconds. Now the question is that absolute the best that Miserandino's got to offer, and Cliff's just faster, or is Mike going, I'm going to give up just a little bit here. I'll let him get to within, say, 1.5 seconds and save my tires just a little bit. Absolutely. He just sets fastest race lap. Cliff White did that number 58 machine with a 1:43.800, about 400s quicker. Oh, we got a car off to the side there, the number 95 machine of Mark Hutchins from Lincoln, Nebraska, buried in the sand trap. That's in the exit of turn number 3, a high impact zone. I think we're going to have to go under yellow to get that car moved. Oh boy, it's going to be very difficult. Looks like they've pulled the trigger on that one already. We may be, full course caution, folks, at exactly half distance. And boy, now all of that margin that Cliff White was a deficit to, that he was running that car hard, he gets that back free at this stage. The only problem is you got TJ Acker, Fogg, and Reddick that are also going to be right on your 6 when we go back to green. Hopefully this will be a quick extraction and we'll be able to get back to this one because it's got some promise.
Yeah, it sure does. And Todd Harris, we talked about that. He's back in 19th now, and that number 24 with that front end damage. Got to wonder if that was some of the heating problems or just knocked the alignment off that car.
Yep.
Struggling in that number 24.
Right, and as you said, heating could also be brakes. I mean, you may not have any cooling, and obviously you get to a point those brakes start to lose their effectiveness. When you're whistling into some of these corners here, you want brakes.
Oh, absolutely. You want brakes.
This is a tough one.
Next year, Daytona, you're going to want some brakes there too with the speeds. And I think the whole outcome of Spec Racer Ford is going to change as they're going to start adapting that new Duramax motor.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit faster, a little
Duratec,
bit
sorry.
a little bit faster, a little
diesels.
bit lighter, which means that you're going to be able to have an opportunity. The car's even better balanced. It should be a lot of fun. Well, since we've got a caution here right about mid-race, seems a good time for us to step away for just a minute. So we're going to take a break here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. We'll be right back with the battle for the gold in Spec Racer Ford. Stay put. The 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way, and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no Spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle. Ride with the best and test the iconic circuits of North America. No pit stops, no quarter. The world watches and knows this is how racing should be.
It sure is. On the pro level, that is how racing should be, and we hope throughout the course of next year, 2015, going to be another remarkable season in the Pro League World Challenge, and certainly hope that anybody who's got an opportunity to go out and see those cars in that show, please come out and join us. Obviously, we'll be back working on that series, but right now, this is how racing should be on the amateur level. The Sports Car Club of America's National Championship Runoffs and Spec Racer Ford in particular. We're green this time by is what we're getting from SCCA.
Yeah, down up through turn number 5 and up the hill as they go through 6. The world famous corkscrew, officially the little kink before the corkscrew, turn number 7, then 8 and 8A through the corkscrew. And then turn 9, the rainy curve down into turn number 10 and into turn number 11, the old turn number 9. As I used to call it, and you come out of turn number 9 onto the straightaway, but now turn number 11 with the new layout here, 2.238 miles officially here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. 20 laps or 40-minute race. We're 10 laps in with 17 minutes to go.
I have to admit, I mean, I certainly watched some of the races when they were televised, but one of my regrets is I was never out here when it was the old configuration to see some fast stuff run here. I know that was absolutely spectacular. I mean, this new layout's awesome, but that outside one, I mean, talk about, that was a track.
I got a picture on my phone today. I got a chance to go down to the beautiful Nissan booth that they have set up, the Heritage Collection they have there, and really appreciate Nissan what they do. Got to sit in that GTP car that I saw run the original road course here from turn 1 down through 2, all the way up the hill to turn number 3 and 4. Just a nice big long curve straight, but coming out of the curve here, turn number 11, back to green.
Miserandino in front of White, Acker, Fogg, Reddick, Black, Tipton, Wills, Richardson, and Keller, your top 10. And the green flag flies. And this time, Miserandino again. Boy, he is just so good at getting that little bit of a jump. But this time, White not anywhere near as far back, and he's got Acker helping push him along. And I think by the time we get down into the braking zone at Andretti Hairpin, it is going to be on, and it is. There we go, White all over the back of Miserandino as they come out of turn 2.
And White's taking a really cool line. He comes down to the inside, stays it really tight, goes all the way out back to the middle of the corner there, and then brings it back on the exit for turn 2.
Now, feed it power through 3. Tricky corner this, and you see a lot of people dropping those lefts as they come through. And then here we go through turn 4. Just kind of continues to arc. You just get to the track out there, then back into this little kink. And then one of the most important corners on this track, turn 5, because if you get this one wrong, you're crawling up that hill while everybody else is racing.
Yeah, all the way from 5 to the corkscrew. You could mess up right here as TJ Acker drops a couple wheels off on the exit. No harm, no foul there. Cliff White, this is where he was faster according to the segment times. If you're watching live on scoring at scca.com/SCCA live. Tune in right now, watch the live stream, and watch this live timing.
Absolutely, this is the run. There's that little turn 7 you're talking about, and then into the corkscrew. Boy, Cliff White is on it right now. He knows this is opportunity, and I cannot afford to let Miserandino get away. I was clearly quicker earlier, and look at that. He makes up a lot of ground right there. A little bit different line, those two through 9 into Rainey, and it pays off.
Yeah, doing a great job showing a better line there. Oh, that's the first wheel we've seen Miserandino put wrong here all day long.
Ooh, and a car back of the top 10 actually dropped. All 4 wheels got sideways. I hope he was able to save it without collecting anybody. And we'll see how that pans out as the field streaming through and onto the front straight. Now completing lap number 12. And Cliff White, the two of them have broken Acker just a little bit here. Acker dealing with the 21 of fog right behind him. But Cliff White, he is all over him. Takes a look to the inside of your leader, Miserandino.
Yeah, and Steve Fogg goes to the inside of TJ Acker and takes that final podium space away.
Nice.
Third place for TJ Acker and Steve Fogg. I'm sorry, third place for Steve Fogg. TJ Acker back to 4th.
Reddick right behind them, but he's got immense pressure from that blue 07 of Black, and coming after them, the 23 of John Tipton as well. So good battles for the lead for 3rd and for 5th as well. And there we go. There are the 2 up front, Miserandino and that Lavender Machine of White into turn number 5. Boy, Miserandino turns into that back end, steps out just a little bit. And here's that run up the hill. And you see on the back of the car right now of Steve Fogg's car, it says Flat Out Motorsports. Well, that's how you drive these things. Oh, he's all the way off though, ran wide, and a quick reactive move right there. TJ Acker cuts left, comes through, and now Reddick gonna try and make the pass as well. He's got that made.
Yeah, and John Black will want to pounce on that as quick as he can as well, see if he can move up another position over Steve Fogg.
But, you know, just that little bit of, you know, as the 21 of Fog went off, just that little move, Acker had to check up, move left. Look at what's happened. You see those two guys now, just that little bit of a change of momentum. Oh, but Miserandino dropping almost the entire car off to the outside of turn 10. He is feeling the heat, and right now Cliff White is smiling inside that car going, he knows I'm here. Now I just got to keep rattling him.
Yeah, Miserandino got turn 10 wrong last time, dropped 2 wheels off. This time made it even more, and nose to tail for the lead coming down into the Andretti hairpin.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see, because the one thing you don't want to do is get into some sort of a contact scenario that lets those other guys behind you come after you. You can see White a little quicker down into 2, but nice job by Miserandino protecting the inside, forced White to the outside, and White goes, you know what, there's laps left. I'm not going to do anything silly right now.
Yeah, Miserandino, you saw him reach out there and adjust that left mirror just to get a little better view of where Cliff White's going to be and see if he makes a pass, maybe a little bit of defensive move there. Make a move. You're allowed 1. You're not allowed 2.
Exactly. You can turn into the corner anytime you want, as long as it's not reacting to the guy that's behind you. And I think that was perfectly done by Miserandino as they climb up the hill once again.
Yeah, up there we turn number 6. Cliff White, we talked about it before, was closing that gap. Catching somebody and passing somebody, 2 entirely different things.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can be a second a lap faster, but once you catch them, until you get around them, you're pretty much forced to run their pace, aren't you? And that's when things can get a little bit desperate here, especially when you got somebody with the savvy of a Miserandino.
Yeah, he's really going to start protecting that. And I got to think if he starts looking in those mirrors, he did adjust them, he's going to start racing behind him and not racing in front of him, and Cliff White will take full advantage.
Well, I think if Cliff White saw him reach up and adjust that mirror, and here we go. Cliff showed the nose, and again trying to maybe get Miserandino to carry more speed than he wants down into 10. This time Miserandino nice. But if Cliff White saw that hand come up and adjust that mirror, that's got to give you a little bit of a grin to know that guy's really paying attention to me.
Absolutely. You want to make that nose peek out to the right, peek out to the left, duck in behind him, really don't give him a chance to know what you're going to do and how you're going to make that move.
wonder if that's why he's got that car lavender. So every time the guy in front looks in the mirror, that's a pretty car. That's a pretty, squirrel.
Darn.
And down and through he goes. Miserandino probably not going to make that kind of a mistake, but he clearly is feeling the pressure, Jeff.
Yeah, he sure is. You see him dropping a couple wheels off. There he goes, adjusting that mirror just one more time, trying to get a little better look as he had that little short shoot between turn 2 and turn 3.
Boy, Miserandino, that car is sliding a fair amount. We don't normally see that from him. Now we are watching this stream. Great battle for third. Acker, Reddick, Fogg, and Black covered by the proverbial blanket.
And Perry Richardson and Darrell Willis, this battle for 8th. These two cars right here on your screen, a good battle. Even they're going for 8th and 9th. It's still, they're trying for every position they can.
Oh, it's fierce. You see that? The number 32 right there. Perry, was that a point by saying, if you come up the inside, I'll give it to you. Maybe he thinks that right now Darrell Wills, who's a multi-time national champion, is a little quicker and wanted to follow him through. But Wills not able to get out of 5 well enough to take that run.
Yeah, I thought he was right there, didn't want to battle with him. Maybe those guys can go nose to tail and catch up to John Tipton, who's sitting in 7th place right now. John Black right in front of him.
Yeah, you wonder if right now Perry Richardson's going, okay, what did I do when I was pointing there? Because I just gapped him by about 6 car lengths.
Yeah, maybe tell him to get in the line. You know,
Yeah,
line up behind me,
that
line
could
up
be
behind
too.
me, get in line. There's a good shot of the number 62, TJ Acker, sitting in 3rd. And you got to think Scott Reddick has not let him pull away.
No. We've seen Acker has already had the tires off this track a couple of times. So he's definitely hanging it out there just a little bit. And you look at Reddick, one of the things that I think you pick up driving a Formula car is you know, you don't want to be dropping tires on a Formula car, so you just learn how to run that actual track width and maximize every bit of speed you can that way. And oh, look at that, Cliff White almost down to the inside of Miserandino. He made it possible, but not easy. And again, Cliff White said, you know, what you don't want to do is hit here, knock each other off track and let everybody else come slicing through.
Yeah, I think White's pretty content just to hang out behind Miserandino and see how this plays out. Look for him to either make a mistake, because he's done that twice. He's dropped some wheels off. The Iceman at his best, we'll call him Cliff White.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, that's part of it. If the opportunity's there, of course, he will pounce. But right now, he doesn't have to force the issue. We're working lap 16, so when they come around, there'll be 4 laps left yet. And there's no matter what Miserandino has done, he has not been able to shake Cliff White. And remember, before we had the caution, Cliff White was closing at about a half a second a lap. So I think Cliff knows he's got pace. It's just a matter of the right moment.
Yeah, 3/4 of this race left, 5 laps to go, a little over 8 minutes. We'll see if this comes down to a time event. We've had 2 races so far today. It's been pretty close, but we were able to get the full 20 laps in all day today so far.
Yeah, look at this, boy. What a great battle this is with Acker, Reddick, Fogg, and then right behind him, Black. These guys are putting on a spectacular show right now. This is for the final medal. I mean, this is for the bronze here. So this is going to be pretty fierce and intense stuff right now. Whoa, we got a change in the lead. While we were watching that, Cliff White somewhere was able to sneak through. I've got to think it was down through the exit of Rainey where he had that different line. We just went and picked up that battle for 3rd for a minute, and that's where White popped through.
Yeah, and he accelerates out of turn number 11 and gaps him by about 3 or 4 car lengths down here into the Andretti hairpin. Once he got clear of that, took advantage of it right away.
Wow, and that may be, you know, when he made the pass. If he got Miserandino offline a little bit, cost him some momentum, and that's what you have to do, don't you? In these cars, you get a little break like that, you better pounce on it.
Yeah, he sure did. Miserandino is struggling, it looks like, with the handling of that car. Probably just drove the tires off it a little bit. We're starting to see if he'll fall Black into that clutches of that 4-way battle for 3rd between Acker, Reddick, Fogg, and Black. And I really like John Black's paint job on his Spec Racer Ford. Painted the exact same way as his GT3 Nissan 350Z.
Absolutely, which of course, if you look at it, it mirrors a car that a guy named Brabham ran in the old IMSA G. That's that same kind of pattern on there. So yeah, he's obviously a fan. And this is going to be fascinating as we, you know, coming in here, because remember, Mike Miserandino has been the man in SRF and the Runoffs for the last 4 years. Is that reign going to end? Well, right now you watch the pace of Cliff White, assuming that nothing befalls him, whether it's a mechanical contact or just an off. It looks certainly possible, but boy, do we have a battle for 3rd. Oh man.
Yeah, TJ Acker and Scott Reddick. And look like very similar paint jobs on both of those cars. They're both, one's from Oregon, one's from Ohio. Don't think that they're teammates or anything there, but it's amazing they're both kind of painted the same exact way. Maybe they are sort of a teammate there.
Fairly similar, that's for sure. Maybe they originally came out of the same shop and they both liked it. That's a good point. But boy, down into 11 once again. And Acker's got it. Reddick, the 17, the 21 of Fogg, the 07 of Black. As they come out, there is Cliff White. The margin as he comes by is 0.9, and last lap, Jeff, it was 0.6. So he's picked up 3/10. Cliff White is doing this on outright pace. Ooh, and Miserandino locking up. Like I said, you don't see that very often, so you know Miserandino right now is struggling.
Yeah, you got to get to a point where, okay, I lost first. I'm not going to be able to catch back up. Now let me hit my marks and do what I can and still maintain my second position.
I'm not sure, though, the way that Miserandino's run at the Runoffs the last few years, that he ever believes he can't win this thing somehow, and he's going to push. But you're right, you know, certainly a silver medal is better than fifth. And so, you know, you've got to kind of have that mindset. But he wants to just at least stay close so that Cliff White can't just go into cruise mode. You want to keep White at least trying and pushing hard. Somebody way off by the wall up there, so no issue, but hadn't noticed that before. But Cliff White right now looking awfully good. When they come by start-finish this time, it will be 2 laps to go.
Oh, and Miserandino drops a couple wheels off again. Just that little right rear on the hill up to turn number 6. A little bit loose. That's a scary high-speed part of this track. Don't want to have that happen there.
Into the corkscrew one more time. Just turn that thing in, get as close to that tire bundle as you can, obviously without clipping it, and then set up for the run down through Rainey Curve, named after one of the all-time greats in motorcycle racing, Wayne Rainey. Now down into turn 10. Bit of banking right here, so you can that's fun to watch, but didn't drop a tire, and Miserandino did. So Cliff White, I think he's feeling really comfortable now. But boy, Miserandino right there, he just made up a good chunk of ground.
Yeah, did a good job under the braking zone, just starting to increase those braking zones a little bit. I've been watching that red light from some of the back shots, and he's braking a lot later than Cliff White in a lot of these corners. Not over yet, 2 to go.
2 to go. Here's your battle for third, still in the hands of Acker, but Reddick, Fogg, Black in the same blanket right now. And again, Miserandino, boy, he took that margin from, remember, it was 0.9 down to 0.5, and now it's down to 2, and I'm talking about car lengths.
Yeah, maybe that was, maybe he was just backing up a little bit, kind of cool those Goodyear Eagles off and make a run for another championship in Spec Racer Ford.
Yeah, and I mean, watching through turn 10, you can see that Cliff White, that car, he was really pitching it. Had a nice exit out of the turn, but it was definitely sliding it just a little bit, and that's going to light the fire for Miserandino.
Yeah, you'll see those problems there and think that maybe I have a chance here. I'm not going to settle for second. I'm going to go for that win. Will it be Miserandino or White or somebody else? TJ Acker, you know, you never know. These guys get side by side and take each other out, and then Acker's in the catbird seat.
Oh, without a doubt, it by no means is over. We've got a lap and 2/3 to go. The climb up the hill to the corkscrew. That's the margin from second back to third. The margin from first to second is now a car length. Onto the brakes, through the corkscrew. A little bit of tire smoke there from the leader, White.
The best thing that Miserandino can do right now is just follow White through there. He's got a great line coming through Rainey where we think he made that pass for the lead. And Miserandino tucks right in the back bumper of Cliff White, coming down through turn number 10 into the braking zone of 11. It'll be 1 to go as they come up for the white flag out of turn number 11. Cliff White, Miserandino right on the back end of Cliff White, gonna get the draft down the front stretch. There's the white flag. Looking at the top of that Mazda Raceway Bridge, you see the mile-per-hour marker there, and that's from the cars in the back. I don't think there's going to be lap traffic that'll play a part here in that final lap.
Yeah, Miserandino has won it 4 times in a row, 06, 2006, 2007, 8, 9. Now, he's been fast every year, but this is the opportunity. And Cliff White, the most recent winner of the national championship, that's here on track today. Won it in 2012. Brian Schofield won it last year. He's not here. So this is an opportunity for Miserandino to reclaim the point, White to reclaim the point. And as you said, Jeff, if that all goes wrong with something, you've got those guys lurking behind. But boy, Cliff White seems to have had something in his back pocket. He's been able to stretch that margin out now by another 3 to 4 car lengths.
Yeah, he sure did. As he goes through turn number 5, going up the hill, it is still TJ Acker, Scott Reddick, and John Black has gotten around Steve Fogg up to the top 5 for John Black.
Well, this is fun to watch. Yeah, and look at this now. Black taking a look at Reddick on the way up into 6. Not quite close enough, but he definitely has some momentum that he's playing with right now. He got a great run out of 6. Takes a look now to the inside. You know that door is going to be slammed, so he switches directions, comes up here, Is he close enough into the corkscrew? Does not look like it, and tucks back in behind.
So a good shot of Miserandino on the back bumper of Cliff White. One more chance to do it through turn 10, down into the braking zone of turn number 11. If you're going to make it happen, you got a good run out of there in 10.
Yeah, and I tell you, he made up a lot of ground. Here he comes, and it's going to be a braking duel. Miserandino to the inside, and he gives him room. They both come out, both sideways, sliding. It is a drag race. Here we go to the line. Cliff White by a car length as they climb up the hill, and then Miserandino turned to the inside, shortened that up. Oh, 65 one-thousandths of a second. What a brilliant move right there by Miserandino to try that, to turn and go straight to that post and shorten that run up, and he came up 65 one-thousandths short of moving in front of Cliff White. What a final lap.
Well, yesterday we had a 47,000th race. This is 65th, and that was the 5th closest time in transponder era. We'll see from our statisticians on where this one ranks, but got to be in the top 10 on the closest finishes ever in the runoffs.
I would think so. Look at Cliff White. I mean, he just snuck through with that medal, but nonetheless, boy, when you beat Mike Miserandino with the record he has had, I mean, you take a look back since 2006. You know, Miserandino has just been absolutely fantastic. And again, Cliff White winning in 2012 and now in 2014, backing it up. And sounds like our GoPro hero move of the race goes to Cliff White for the pass that he laid on him to pick up that lead, which he was able to parlay into a gold medal.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah.
But he did get it, gets that camera. Congratulations, winning the championship on the even years. Want to see if he can change that up, make it 3 championships coming through Daytona next year. But that number 58, Cliff White from Huntsville, Alabama, the Cottage Senior Living Valvoline Spec Racer Ford, getting a good job here and a national championship at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
How cool is that? And I'm telling you though, that was one of the, that's a guy who's got racecraft in abundance from the number 11 of Mike Miserandino. Got that move, came down the inside. They're side by side. Miserandino keeps him out to the right side of the track and then just turns and squares right to the flag station. That darn near did it. That was an absolutely amazing piece of racecraft. Congratulations. We're getting some word now that we believe this certainly is the closest finish in the transponder era for Spec Racer Ford.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
great job.
Close. And you think about all the different Spec Racer Ford races there's been and how close they've been, but in the transponder area, by far the closest finish ever in Spec Racer Ford.
Absolutely fantastic, and that's a pretty elated crew as he is heading down now and is going to be driving right up to that very special box because Hayward Wagner is standing there and you get the interview, and while that interview happens, a very special piece of jewelry is draped around your neck. It's the gold in the national championships.
Wow. Something that is definitely on a bucket list of amateur racers all across this great country of ours wanting to get that gold medal, and Cliff White earns that today.
Oh, what an absolutely fantastic race. You know, for a while there, it looked like Miserandino was going to do what he does and just sort of check out a little bit, and Cliff White was saying, yeah, no, we're coming. We're gonna be a player here.
Oh, Cliff Boom Boom White getting that win.
Absolutely awesome. You see the Safe Racer there. This is all part of the Safe Racer SCCA club racing program, and so he's pretty proud of that, as he should be. And well, I'll tell you what, just celebrating right there. When that helmet comes off, we're going to head on down to Hayward Wagner and get a word from our national champion. Hayward?
Cliff White taking the win in Spec Racer Ford, getting a congratulations from Mike Miserandino. You guys just recorded the closest finish in transponder era history for Spec Racer Ford. What a race.
Yeah, that race was awesome. I have to give it up to Mike Miserandino. He's been the man to beat all week. What an unbelievable race.
Now, before that second caution, you were catching him at about a half a second a lap. Did you feel like you were going to get to him without the caution?
Yeah, I thought we could pick it up. You know, the car was really good. I started to overdrive it a little bit and just take off a little less time per lap, but the car was absolutely fantastic.
The GoPro hero move of the race goes to your pass for the lead with a couple of laps left in the race. Can you talk us through that pass?
Well, a couple of laps prior, I had been poking my nose at the top of turn 7, ready to go into the corkscrew. And I knew I could get him under braking there. So I poked it one more time and said, okay, we're going for it. And it stuck, and, you know, wow.
Wow, indeed. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Gold medal here at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
Flag was flown by a friend of mine in Afghanistan on September 11th, and I told him I'd bring it. Thanks, John. Appreciate all your hard work, man.
All right, congratulations. You get another flag that you get to take on a lap here. We're going to send you around. I'm going to see if I can grab Mike Miserandino. Mike, can we talk with you real quick? Mike Miserandino, tell me about the last lap.
Oh man, that was all I had. Cliff drove a hell of a race. Hats off to him, he did a great job. My car was really good in the beginning and it fell off a little bit, but we were all sliding out there. But yeah, I gave it all I had. Guess today was second for me, but you know, we'll take it, and congrats to Cliff, he drove a great race.
It seemed like whoever the lead car was between you guys got through 3, 4, and 5 a little bit better. Whoever was in the back car seemed to come through the corkscrew and down through Rainy a little bit better. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, well, you know, our cars are so even. In 3, 4, 5, they're real quick corners, and it's so hard to be, you know, super close to the car in front of you. And then opposite, when you come down the hill, you know, you really want that clear vision when you come down. So, you know, that's the way it is. And we're second today, but I'm so happy with that.
Well, congratulations to you. I don't know if you overheard before, but this is the closest Spec Racer Ford finish in the transponder era. So congratulations. I know you would have rather have been about 6 thousandths ahead of where you were, but not a bad day at the racetrack.
All right, thank you.
All right, TJ Acker, the third place finisher. TJ, it looked like you were just trying to keep the barn door closed and keep everybody behind you for those last couple of laps. Talk to me through that.
It was like that the entire race. I just could not get the car stopped, and that's not good on this track. So I guess I was just trying to be a pain in the butt for as long as I could hold on, and had held on to the finish. So I think third was about as good as I was going to get out of it today.
Did it cross your mind that you could be racing for the win watching these two guys in front of you battle?
Yeah, it crossed my mind, but they're way too good to let that happen when they had the lead that they did. So, but you know, you never know what's going to happen. And so I just tried to keep it on the track, and thankfully I did that.
Well, congratulations to you. Bronze medal here at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. We're going to go back upstairs.
Well, and Jeff, there was the story from TJ Acker talking about getting stopped. This track, you know, obviously corner speed and all that is important, but boy, you got to have brakes working on this track. And when they don't, I thought that turns into an absolutely spectacular drive by TJ.
Yeah, really good job there, getting able to get that third place.
That's just fantastic. There's the number 58, Cliff White. That is a very special lap. Well, let's go back and take a look at this final corner, Jeff, and then the move that Miserandino did to get to the flag.
Yeah, he did that little lock up there. It comes off, gets that little bit loose right there, and I think that was the key. If he would have stuck it right there, he might have made the move, but you talked about it, Greg, right here. Just turns right down to the inside, right over there. Try to get that last little bit, shorten that track up. Unfortunately, 65 thousandths of a second too short.
Boy, that's just amazing how close that was. Absolutely fabulous race here, and there, Cliff White enjoying. This is the moment, man. You get out on the track, you got that flag flying, and also pretty special. You know, when you can do something special like that, when you carry in the cockpit with you the flag of you know, somebody who's been over in Afghanistan, just to you know, thank them. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's great fun there, and add to that checkered flag with that American flag. Yeah, very, very special.
Yeah, but an absolutely great day, and the GoPro Hero Move of the Race Award. That's pretty fantastic, and you know, when you start second, you can only move up one spot, and he did.
Yeah, right up to the lead now. Two-time champion in 10 starts. Not bad for Mr. Cliff White.
Exactly, since this is a track that is known for hosting the U.S. Motorcycle Grand Prix, top of the box goes to, again, a great run there by Cliff White. In second is Miserandino. Third to TJ Acker. Fourth is Scott Reddick. Fifth, John Black. And you take a look, the graphics have shifted on us just by one. Obviously, Cliff White would appear where the number 1 is, then Miserandino and Acker. Reddick, good run to fourth for Scott Reddick, and John Black, boy, he was relentless in his attack and hanging in there in the top 5. Steve Fogg had that one big moment, and it could have been a lot worse, and he still brings it home in 6th when he ran right off the track up at turn 6. John Tipton to 7th. Perry Richardson, a great run to 8th. Darrell Wills, the multi-time national Formula Mazda champion, right there in 9th, and Michael Keller bringing it home into the top 10.
Yeah, top 10 cars and 44 cars in Spec Racer Ford taking the green flag, finishing in the top 10. A little bit of a victory here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Yeah, I think so. That's a pretty good achievement. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Run to the Medals in the Spec Racer Ford National Championship, brought to you in HD by Mazda. And there's the man, Cliff White. Congratulations. You're going to savor this one, my friend. For, again, Jeff Leppard down in the pits, Hayward Wagner, I'm Greg Creamer. A treat to call Spec Racer Ford at the 51st running of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs. See you next time. The 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way, and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no Spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle. Ride with the best and test the iconic circuits